I think I grabbed my stomach and I said, I'm sorry. And I took the pill. I had my lights on all night, all day and all night, just laying in bed. And I try not to think about what the pill was doing. Okay, I have to put myself in the moment. So I moved here from Missouri to do some acting and just honestly also to get away, to leave. I was doing student films, meeting people, getting out, having a good time. And I feel like I hit a speed bump. Like everything had stopped, almost like I needed to face some things. So the guy that I dated for a long time was here, and he broke up with me. And then I lost my job. And then I kind of isolated myself, went through a transition of like, what is going on, Lord, with my life? And lo and behold, I met a guy. And within literally 2 months, I bought a pregnancy test just to buy it. Took it, and I'm talking to my sister, FaceTiming her. You gotta be kidding me. I said, oh, hold up. And I showed her the test. And I said, is this positive? And she was like, it's positive. Oh my goodness, Lord God, I am pregnant. The father, when me and him talked that night, I think my first instinct was, oh, okay, I'm getting an abortion. I could take the pill. It's so funny. I called this pregnancy care center and I'm thinking it's an abortion clinic. And I'm like, hey, how much is, for the abortion? So she was just talking to me and she was like, how do you feel? And I was pretty much saying, I don't know. I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I'm good. She said, how do you think your relationship with God will be? And I said, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. God gave me this baby, and I'm gonna just give him back to God. I feel like each time somebody talked to me, it was a pebble of my heart breaking for my kid. It was just like very small though. I'm just like, why am I feeling this? I heard this voice inside that said, Shunda, you can't be a mother. If I take the abortion pill, within a day or so, I can wash it all away and get my life back, the life that I was trying to figure out in the first place. So I sat there and I said, okay, I'm finna get the abortion. I found an abortion clinic, actually. We made an appointment. Every day I was like, this is weird. So I found this ultrasound bus. You can go get a free ultrasound. So when I went there, the lady sat me down and she was like, I had an abortion before. I still think about my child to this day. And the lady was like, do you want to see this first ultrasound ever in the bus? It's like, do you want to see the baby? And I feel like usually somebody would say no. But I said, yeah, I want to face this. I don't want to act like he's not there. I don't want it to be like something almost like I threw away. I want it to be something where I face it, I face him, I see him. And it's more like, okay, I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. So I said, yeah, I want to see the ultrasound. So I saw, and it was a little bitty pebble. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's like, what? And then after I was done, they set me on the chair. And then they started talking to me. And this lady out the blue, she was like, just so you know, when I decided to have my baby, God completely changed my life around. And my sister, she was my best friend through the whole experience. She was just like, Shonda, you can do this. Just if you get the abortion, I'm gonna be there for you. I got your back. But if you decide to keep this baby, just so you know, you can do this. You can be a mom. You can do this. And I'm like, a mom? Like, I knew the responsibility a mother holds to a child. Like, I'm not the type of person where it's like, I want to have a child to have a child. I know the responsibility of, I have to be mentally prepared, spiritually prepared, physically, financially prepared. Even in how I raised this child, is so much more than money. And I'm like, I didn't know if I was prepared for that. And the reason being is because I was still trying to find myself. It's like, how can I find myself and have a kid at the same time? So I was like, God, don't start poking at me now. Don't start pulling on my heartstrings, because this is big. And I didn't know why people just kept, talking to me about this. I'm just like, okay, it was almost like somewhere else, they were speaking to the decision they knew I was going to make in the future. It was so weird. It was almost like I was spiritually heartbroken. It was so weird because I couldn't feel the emotions like in my body. It's like I started feeling them somewhere else. And I started crying. And I was like, no, Shunda, you can't be a mother. No, you ain't finna do this. The day of the abortion. Went upstairs. We sitting down. My sister texts me, and she texts me and says, Shunda, you have a choice. And then she called me and said, Shunda, I don't know why I'm saying this to you. I don't know where this is coming from, but you have a choice. And I said, God, you're going to have to give me a sign if you want me. And I'm saying this inside of me because the father was right next to me. I knew it would be just me carrying this on my own. I went to the back, went to the nurse. I said, I just want to get out the way today. And I'm waiting for her to tell me how it goes. She says, okay, and these the pills you're going to take tomorrow. I'm like, did she not hear me? Did she not hear what I said? Like, I just told her I want to take it today. She was like, so you're going to take these tomorrow? And eventually I was like, I'm just go along with it. I'm just take them tomorrow. But I was dead set on taking them that day. She just didn't give me, like, she didn't do it. So I went to the nurse and I sat down. And I thought I was going to have like this sentimental moment with my baby before I took the pill. And she talking to me or whatever. And she was like, okay, now you can take the pill. And I grabbed it. Oh. I grabbed the pill. And then I thought about it. I'm just like, this is so quick. I think I grabbed my stomach and I said, I'm sorry. And I took the pill. I had my lights on all night, all day and all night. Just laying in bed. And I try not to think about what the pill was doing as I was laying there. I'm just like, is my kid gone? Is he still in there? Is he fighting? Like, I was trying not to let these things like wreck my brain. And I had a dream that night. I don't know if it was that night, but I had a dream about a kid. And I had a dream about the father. All of us was together. And it was like the kid was going to fall through some stairs, like to the ground. And I remember the father grabbing me to save me. And he didn't care about the kid. And then I turned around and I grabbed the kid. And I woke up in between 1:30 and 1:34. I remember it like to the T. And I laid in bed. And my mind just started going. This is a kid. This is a life. And I was like, how can I let myself make a decision about my kid based on the father who's not even here to help me go through the process? Like, this is my kid. And this might be the only kid I ever have. What if God say, this is the only kid you will ever have? Then I remember myself thinking, if you could go back and have made this decision before, would you have done this? I don't know if it was me asking myself, God was asking me, and I'm just laying there like, no, I wouldn't have done this. And why do I feel like I have to do this? And I'm like, I know my life is a mess right now. I don't have a job. I don't have insurance. I'm in a whole nother state. My family is over there. I've never been a mom before. I know everything is against me. Everything. I didn't even know how I was going to pay rent the next month. I'm letting all of this determine my baby's life. I feel like I got so much courage, so much boldness, so much fight in me. And I was like, is there such thing as a pill reversal thing? It's almost like my body was moving for me. On the phone, I scrolled, I looked up abortion pill reversal. I found this random number. I don't remember the organization. I don't remember anything. I just called the number. At 1:30 in the morning, I called the number. And this nurse picked up. And I just started crying. I would just start crying to her. I was like, ma'am, I don't know what I'm doing. I took the pill, but I want to try to save my baby. And she said, we got in contact with a doctor. He's going to help you. He's going to prescribe you some pills to help you save the baby. And he was like, I'm so happy you're finna do this. I'm finna prescribe you some progesterone for a whole 3 months. Take it. And he just told me how many to take. And he was like, this is finna be a journey, but you can do this. So I called my auntie and I said, Auntie, I need you to pray with me, because I think I'm about to keep this baby. All I heard her say is, this kid can't die. This kid must live. So I got the pills and I started taking them. And then I came to his doctor's office. The whole time I'm in there, the secretary and stuff like this, was telling me about copay and all this stuff. And I'm just like, God, I don't have anything. And he eventually, when he called me to the back, he was like, just so you know, you're not going to have to pay anything. You're not going to give me anything. You're not going to be billed, nothing at all. So I just started the process of taking the progesterone. And I didn't tell anybody about my decision to keep the baby. Like it was literally, I feel like God was isolating me because it was so crazy. So I just started taking the progesterone, and it was a lot of medicine. I was so sick. I would say the first 5 months was horrible. I was taking so much progesterone. I was sleeping, barely eating. I was going through everything in my room, in my bed for 5 months straight. And after 48 hours, I decided to tell the father. I was like, okay, I should have this conversation with him. And I'm better through writing sometimes. So I wrote this whole letter out. And I basically said, I decided to keep the baby. And I knew, me making that decision, I knew from that moment forward, I would be carrying this by myself. It's so weird how I'm looking at my whole journey. It's almost like God was with me every single step of the way. Like I didn't feel like, oh my goodness, I need somebody to hold me. I felt so accompanied. And I didn't realize it until now. And the reason I realized it is because I think the other day I went through my phone looking at videos and everything. And I'm just like, wow, Shunda, you was doing this whole thing just by yourself. Your family's not here. The father's not a part of your life. I'm like, everything is by myself, even in the doctors. But I'm like, Shunda, you didn't feel like that. I was like, dang, God, you was literally carrying me the whole way. Oh, man. I get emotional when I think about that. Because in the physical sense, it was just me. But I didn't feel it at all. I didn't feel lonely or anything like that. It's almost like I felt strengthened, like, okay, Shunda, we're going to keep going. We're going to get through this. So this was the day before my gender reveal. It was time for me to get a ultrasound, and I'm just motivated, excited. And then all of a sudden, like, it's almost like everything turned. Laying on the table, the nurse had contemporary gospel playing, and I'm just like, that's my jam. You know what I'm saying? Just really in it, just motivated, so motivated to keep this baby. And she started doing the thing on my stomach, the little, I don't know the word or whatever. And as she was doing it, I'm looking at her, she looking at me. I'm just vibing out. And all of a sudden, she just started pushing my stomach, like got a little rough with me. And like almost like she was trying to see something. And then she just kept doing it and she got more intense. And I'm just like, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, I just can't see. I'm just trying to see something. I don't think she wanted to tell me. She's like, I just want to see. I'm trying to see something. And she got real quiet and got real focused. I was like, are you going to be able to give me the gender in the envelope where I can't see it? And first she said, not today. And she looked at me and said, I can't tell you everything. The doctor's going to see you in a couple hours. And then she said, I'm going to be praying for you. And I bust out crying. And I called my auntie. Pretty much she was like, we're going to pray. And you're going to believe God. And you're going to go in there. And you pretty much going to put your big girl pants on. And you're going to deal with this. But that baby's going to be all right. So, I'm back motivated. Whatever. Went in there. Sat down. And the doctor said, I don't see everything. We're going to send you to the fetal center at Vanderbilt. But what I can tell you is your baby hands have not developed, and one of his foot has not even formed, and the other foot looks deformed. That means it's going to start growing, right? And she said, your band fell on him. How it works is the damage is already done. We just need to see how much damage is done. And I said, oh, okay. So when you see about that, it's going to start growing. And she said, how it works, whatever is formed, he missed that time period when it's supposed to form. So if it didn't form, it's not going to form. And they need to see how it looks now. And the whole time she's saying it, I'm just holding back tears. Really like, okay, Lord, you gotta be kidding me. So I left her office and I went in the car and I was crying. I was crying my eyes out. And I'm like, God, so you told me to keep this baby and his limbs are not even formed? And not only that, his limbs are not going to form? I said, now this is too much. This is too much. And that's when it really hit me. I said, I'm going to be a single mother. And my baby is not going to have any limbs. I was done. I was upset at God. I was confused. I'm like, God, I think I had even forgotten that God had told me, this baby gonna live. I had forgot about everything. So I'm like, oh my goodness. The weight of this. I'm gonna have to carry this. I think I was so far just broken. I was like, God, this ain't it. I'm gonna be honest with you. This ain't it. I was at the lake and I called a number for Human Coalition. And this lady answered. I think her name was Diane. And I am crying to her. I'm like, I can't do this. This is too much for me. I was done. And as I'm thinking about it, the whole time, I'm like, done. Miss Diane, oh, she stayed on that phone with me the whole time. Even when I was silent, she was on that phone with me and she was silent, but she did not hang up that phone. And she was like, Shunda, you can do this. God is going to take you through this. You can do this. And I was like, Miss Diane, I barely made it this far. And now you're telling me my baby's not going to have any hands or feet? And it's on the ultrasound. Like, it's literally you looking at no hands like this. You looking at one foot that's deformed and another foot that's not even there. Like, I can't picture a foot there. I can't think it there. I said, Miss Diana, I can't do this. She said, Shunda, you can do this. And we stayed on that phone, I think, for hours. And she was just encouraging me. And the whole time she's encouraging me, after she stayed on the phone with me so long, she asked, could she stay in contact with me? And I said, yeah, sure. But I really didn't think we would be in contact. I didn't think she would follow through with it. And I think I didn't even care at that point. I was like so distraught. But she was faithful to her promise. Human Coalition was completely faithful to their promise. Every single month, they were checking on me. They were giving me updates. Your baby should have been and did this by now. Your baby should have been done that by now. Like, they were so faithful. I got off the phone with Miss Diane. It was a really rough time. I was going through a really rough time. I called my auntie and she was like, okay, we finna call some prayer warriors and we finna pray. So I did. And when my cousin was praying for me, he was saying, well, God was saying, I'm going to give you a miracle. I'm going to do this for you. And he said a whole bunch of other stuff that God was revealing to me. And I was like, okay, God, I can choose to believe you, or I can choose to not believe you. And I was like, Shunda, what are you going to do? The doctors showed me ultrasounds of my baby not having any hands or feet. And I was like, are you going to believe this, or are you going to believe God? And I knew my journey from that moment forward would be completely different from what it was before. It would be a completely blind faith walk. So after that, of course, I didn't even tell it. When I went home the next day, I didn't tell anybody anything. Only my auntie knew, my sister knew, and my cousin who prayed for me knew. My family, nobody knew anything. We celebrated like usual. We had the baby shower and it was revealed that I was having a baby boy. And I just kept this. I kept this with me because I knew this was my faith walk. It wasn't my family's, it wasn't my auntie's, it wasn't the doctor's. So I kept on going through with it. I was like, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. And I found a church to go to just to increase my faith, to, stay focused. I started praying more. I just started staying connected so much more because I knew I couldn't afford not to. And I told my roommate, and she She was so supportive. She, when I came in the house, all she said was, "Do you want a hug?" And she hugged me and I cried on her, but she had my back through the whole pregnancy. Human Coalition, they were always sending me text messages. "How are you doing? I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. You're going to get through this." They were always, I mean, I have long text messages of them encouraging me. The Pregnancy Care Center encouraging me, providing resources. And I just kept on going to church, just increasing my faith. And then it was time for me to deliver. It got closer and closer. And I went to church. I think it was September 7th. My baby is due on September 23rd. And I was like, let me just go, just going to church. And I didn't know, they were baptizing people who want to get baptized. And I'm sitting there, and they singing, baptizing people. And it was on, like, God spoke to me, and I was like, I want to get baptized with me and my baby. I just felt in my spirit, like, I want to get baptized outside with my baby. And I kept contemplating it, and I was like, God, I just feel like you're calling me to do this. I'm like, Shunda, just go up there. And at the same time I was talking about going up there, at the same time I was like, girl, you don't have any clothes. You are almost 9 months pregnant. Like, you know how you be talking to yourself, like, you finna go up there and get baptized? No way. And I thought to myself, this will be the only time I will be able to, me and my baby will be able to get baptized together. When he's older, he can, he'll have a choice. So I walked up there. And when I walked up there, they gave me a shirt, and I got in the water. And the guy, he was like, "Are you ready?" I was like, "I'm ready." And I did it. And that night I went home, and I was on my phone, and a song came in my head. And that song is "You Make Me Brave." That's the song that kept replaying in my mind. You make me brave. And I was like, you make me brave. And the reason I was singing it, because I'm just like, God, he just, so many brave moments, so many faith steps that I was taking. And when that song came to me, I said, oh, that's his name. His name is Brave. And no kidding, the next day, that's when I went into labor. Yeah. My roommate, she came with her friend, and they throwing stuff in the car. I'm in the car. My cousin called me, and she's like, I'm on my way to the hospital. I thought about it. I'm like, God, you was preparing me. That's why you were preparing me each step of the way, because you knew really when my baby was coming. That's why I got baptized. That's why the name just came. That's why stuff was coming so fast. I'm like, oh, God was preparing me. I just know God was going to give me a miracle. I didn't know what was going to happen. Was he not going to have his hands? Was he not going to have his feet? I didn't know anything. My cousin ran in the hospital room right before I was getting ready to push. She said they wasn't going to let her back there, but she was like, my cousin is going to have her baby right now. Literally just legs up, finger ready to push. She come right in time, and she holding my legs, and they like, push. I'm like, hold up, I'm gonna have a baby? So I pushed, and they was like, you can rest if you want to. And I'm just like, no, come on, let's do this. And they kept telling me to push. They kept telling me to push. And then all of a sudden, here he come. And they put him on top of me. And I was shocked. I didn't cry. I was so shocked. My cousin, she was boo-hooing. She was crying her eyes out. She said she was crying because she was going home to go to a funeral. And then she just had witnessed a birth. So it's almost like she was witnessing two dimensions. She was going home for somebody to pass, and then she had witnessed a birth just come into the earth. So she was so emotional. She was like, Shunda, I was so emotional. And me, I was like, literally, that's how I looked. I was so shocked. I'm like, this is the baby that's been inside of me this whole time. This is the baby that I've been fighting for. This is the baby who's been fighting for himself. So they took him over there. I hadn't seen his limbs yet. And I was so nervous. And my cousin walked over there, to see him first. Nisha, how he look? And she looked at him completely naked and she said, he's perfect. And they brought my baby over. I looked at him, he was so cute. Oh, he was so cute. And he had both of his hands. And he had one of his feet. And he had a nub on his other foot. And I said, God, you gave my baby 2 hands. And you gave my baby 1 foot. And fast forward, he is going to be possibly getting a prosthetic foot for his other foot. And I was like, God, not only did you give me my miracle baby, but you continually going to provide for him. It felt like God used these seemingly disconnected people and organizations to really help me and support me through this unique pregnancy. And I'm so grateful, so grateful for every single person God put in my path, from the time I told them to the time I had him to even now. I felt very loved and supported. That's the story of me and my baby, and we have more stories to behold.